People always talk about their favorite kinds of battle systems in their favorite RPGs, whether that would be the unique stage setting of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, or the interesting HP meter and the trippy backgrounds of Earthbound, or even the extremely simplistic but addicting Pokemon battles. All of these are great systems within really solid games, but I think there's a combat system that tops them all, and it comes from a place you probably least expect. It's Toontown. It comes from Toontown. Alright, let me give you a little backstory. Toontown Online was an MMORPG run by Disney during the 2000s that involves players fending off evil corporate robots using practical joke-like weapons called gags. It's actually a pretty complex game for what it is compared to other MMOs targeted to children like Club Penguin or Habbo Hotel. I think the way Toontown sets itself apart from other MMOs is they basically offer a complete game with many quest lines and full-on bosses. So I think what I find extremely impressive about the battle system is that it heavily relies on working together with other players, and it works extremely well. Every type of attack involves the impact that you and your fellow teammates make in battle. For example, the throw gag, which consists of mostly like pies and cakes, and it's a decently strong attack that targets one enemy at a time. Your team can target a strong enemy with multiple throw attacks, increasing the damage and taking down the enemy in fewer turns. I know that this is a very simple attack, but it was more or less an example of how teamwork affects the gameplay. Another attack is less known attack, and it's more of a stun. It's called Lure, and it consists of mostly dollar bills and magnets, which is mostly because the enemies you face in this game are money-hungry robots, which is pretty ironic considering how this game is made from Disney. But anyways, Lure is special because it's the only way you can avoid an attack if you don't kill the enemies. Lure is a special form of stunning because it actually kind of moves the enemies to a slightly different position, which actually has a pretty big effect on other weapons. Along with that, if players attack lured enemies, it provides a knockback bonus, which means more damage. There's another type called Trap, which consists of things like banana peels, trapdoors, marbles, things like that. And the only way for these attacks to work is if you have another player lure the enemies into them if you want the enemy to defeat it faster. Again, relying on teamwork to succeed. Another type is called Tune-Up, and it's the only form of healing while in battle. It usually consists of things like canes, juggling balls, feathers, things like that, because the health system is actually known as the laughter system, which goes along with the lore of the game. The catch is that you can't heal yourself, you can only heal your other teammates. So usually how it goes is someone lures the enemies so then everyone can heal each other up. Tune-Up is probably one of the most important gags within the entire game, and it's definitely an intensive form of teamwork within the battle system. The final type I want to talk about is Sound. It's a type of attack with more or less a self-explanatory name. It attacks all enemies, but it's fairly weak if only used by one person. It really becomes a game changer when your whole team is using Sound on high level enemies though, and it is generally favored in boss battles. These attacks also have some huge drawbacks to them. If you use Sound on lured enemies, they become unlured, and they won't even give you any knockback bonus. Along with that, another attack called Drop, which is a pretty self-explanatory name, is a really strong attack if used correctly. But the problem is that it becomes useless when used on lured enemies, mostly because the drop attacks literally drop on spots where the enemies would be if they were unlured. There's actually some more things within the game's battle system that you might find later, but I strongly suggest you check it out for yourself on Toontown Rewritten, a revived form of the game that's still being updated to this very day. It has a very active, tight-knit community that is a blast to play with. It's completely free to play, no memberships required, and it's a lot of fun, especially in the later sections. You can check it out at toontownrewritten.com, and I'll also leave a link in the description below. Hey guys, it actually took me a little while to make this, so I would really appreciate your feedback, and maybe even subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.